Hi everyone, Krzysztof the Polish Geek, and welcome to another trailer review, more like a teaser, because this is technically a 1-minute date announcement, so I suppose we won't get a lot of footage here, but I'm about to react to the first sort of trailer of Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. But before we actually react to it, let's talk a little bit about the show. First, you probably already know, I love Castlevania games. Those are some of my favorites, and I've even done my 5 favorite Castlevania games video, and I suggest you really check out that video because it's literally one of my favorite videos on this channel I ever made, and I feel very passionate about it, so please check out my top 5 favorite Castlevania video games. I actually decided to include it in the video description, and I also did a whole you should be watching treatment for the first Castlevania series because I really love that series. It went in a very different direction from the games, but I didn't mind that. They take place in different continuity and in any way, and it's not like games had a particularly deep story. I mean, they certainly had a deep, amazing, rich lore, but you can't say there was much narrative, so I thought that changing the story into a different direction made perfect sense, because for a show you gotta have an actual narrative with characters, so I didn't really mind the changes, but plenty of people did, but that's neither here or there. But in Castlevania Nocturne, plenty of people didn't like it, and it perfectly makes sense, because there were plenty of cringy things about it, like, there was lots of woke stuff, but in addition to that, like, yep, there was a lot to complain about in Castlevania Nocturne. I personally was far more lenient on it than most people, because in spite of its flaws, I will say I did ultimately enjoy it, like, because yeah, the character of Annette was really annoying, and she was really like mean. Like, sure, her backstory was very sad, but the way she treated Richter Belmont and how she was completely like basically a jerk to him was just unacceptable, and it made it completely hard for me to like her character. So yeah, the character of Annette was really annoying, but I really liked the characters of Richter Belmont and Maria Renard, and the last part with Alucard was just hope incarnate. That was totally so awesome, and that basically made me jump out of my seat and clap, and single-handedly saved the whole show for me. I mean, in general, the last 2 episodes were excellent, I think, but really that last scene totally made me really excited for Season 2. And one more problems I had with the first season, I also do think there was strong anti-church sentiment. People say already in the first Castlevania series. No, first Castlevania series didn't really have it all that much, because, I mean, yeah, Bishop of Greyshit and his cronies are evil, but at the end of the day it was actually highly implied that they weren't actually representing the actual church. Like, it was implied that they were like a corrupt small part of the church, and in fact Trevor Belmont at one point even says that he needs a priest that was properly ordained by the church, and that priest is a good guy, and he turns water into holy water that kills demons. So yeah, I don't actually think that first Castlevania series was really anti-church. It was just a Bishop of Greyshit and his cronies that were evil, that's it. But Castlevania Nocturne did have a lot of... He did have more anti-church sentiment, although I'm glad that ultimately this clerical knight, he kind of looked like a knight hospitaller, but it's French Revolution where they were no longer around. But I'm glad that this knight cleric did in fact turn out to be a good guy at the end. But let's see this date announcement. But one more thing I have to say. I also heard from the last announcement that this season will focus a lot on Alucard and just Belmont, the grandfather of Richter Belmont, which makes me even more hopeful for that. Hope they keep their word. But now, let's finally see it.
I could use some help, Richter.
January 2025. Well, I have to say, it didn't reveal much, although what it did reveal seemed pretty exciting, like, yeah, Alucard of course, and he looked far closer to how he looked in Symphony of the Night, and not really how he looked in the original series, which ultimately I don't care much one way or the other, because I love the way he looked in the original series anyway, so even though he looks here closer to Symphony of the Night, I don't care either way. I think Alucard will be awesome either way, and we also seen Richter Belmont, but also I think the demon right before Alucard was Succubus, and that strongly reminds me of the scene in Symphony of the Night, actually, in the game. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to see Succubus and what will her fight with Alucard, hopefully, will be like in this actually. And again, as I said, I'm hoping they will keep their word of mostly focusing on just Belmont and Alucard, and maybe also a lot of Richter and Maria Renard, because those characters in the previous season were actually great. So yeah, I'm hoping they keep their word and focus on just Belmont and Alucard, plus Richter and Maria Renard. Then again, I have to also say this, something I didn't say before this, but I also have to address this. What they did to Warren Ellis is also pretty unacceptable, so I gotta really be cautious about it. I am hopeful, but I'm really cautious, because all this cringy stuff in the first season combined with how they fired Warren Ellis does give me strong doubts. But ultimately, I am hopeful. So, ladies and gentlemen, here are my thoughts on this date announcement trailer of Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. And press the like button. Please subscribe to this channel. What do you think about this date announcement trailer? Talk to you soon. Bye.